Welcome back to another episode of Ancient Mysteries Science Can't Explain, right here on Untold Mysteries, where history blurs into legend. Today we explore two mind-bending discoveries that defy all logic. The Longyou Caves, vast underground chambers carved with impossible precision, yet no record of their builders exists, and the Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria, a massive sealed tomb hidden beneath Egypt for over 2,000 years. Who created these enigmas? Why were they buried in silence? Let's unravel the puzzles history was never ready to explain. While the White Pyramid remains an enigma, China is also home to another mystery just as baffling, one that isn't hidden in the mountains, but underground in the Zhejiang Province. Deep beneath the earth lies a series of immense, perfectly carved stone chambers. No historical records mention their construction, no tools have been found, and their purpose remains completely unknown. These are the Longyou Caves, hidden beneath the rolling hills of Zhejiang Province in China. The Longyou Caves are one of the most perplexing archaeological discoveries ever made. Unlike the natural limestone caves scattered throughout China, these caverns are entirely man-made. Vast underground chambers carved with near-perfect symmetry, intricate patterns, and an engineering precision that defies logic. What makes them even more mysterious is that no historical records mention their construction. No blueprints, no tools, no writings, nothing. It's as if an entire civilization built them and then erased all evidence of how or why they existed. To this day, no one knows who created them, how they did it, or what purpose they served. The discovery of the caves was entirely accidental. In June 1992, a group of local farmers, curious about the deep pools of water scattered across their village, decided to drain one. As the water receded, what emerged stunned them. Massive, smooth-walled chambers extending deep into the earth, unlike anything they had ever seen. Soon, other villagers followed suit, draining more pools only to find more hidden chambers below. What they had uncovered was an underground complex spanning an estimated 30,000 square meters, each cavern meticulously carved from solid sandstone. To put it into perspective, the caves are so vast that if combined, they would cover the area of roughly 4 football fields. The ceilings soar up to 30 meters high, supported by evenly spaced stone pillars, and the walls are covered in a uniform pattern of chiseled markings, marks that seem too precise to be made with rudimentary hand tools. What makes the Longyou Caves so baffling is the sheer scale of labor that must have gone into their construction. Archaeologists estimate that nearly 1 million cubic meters of rock would have had to be excavated to create the caverns. If this was done with the tools available in ancient China, it would have taken thousands of workers, working day and night for years, possibly decades. Yet, as advanced as the caves appear, no tools or construction materials have ever been found. There are no remains of workers, no leftover chisel marks from different stages of construction, and no debris from the excavation process. Where did all the displaced rock go? How did they move it? And why do the caves appear so immaculate, as if they were abandoned immediately after completion? Adding to the mystery is the fact that the caves are not randomly distributed. Each chamber is positioned with careful alignment, as if part of a much larger interconnected system. So far, 24 such caves have been discovered. Some researchers speculate that the caves may have been used for storage, military purposes, or even as secret meeting places for an unknown group. Others suggest they may have had a spiritual or ceremonial function, perhaps linked to an ancient belief system long forgotten. Some believe they were once underground palaces or residences of a ruling elite, but without any inscriptions, artifacts, or evidence of habitation. All of these remain theories with no definitive answers. One of the most peculiar aspects of the Longyou Caves is their structural integrity. Despite being thousands of years old, dating back at least to the Qin dynasty in the 3rd century BC, if not earlier based on limited archaeological findings, the walls show no signs of erosion or collapse. Unlike many ancient structures that deteriorate over time, the caves remain remarkably intact, as if they were built to last indefinitely. The precision with which they were carved suggests an understanding of engineering far beyond what should have been possible at the time. Some have compared the caves to modern-day underground bunkers, capable of withstanding natural disasters, seismic activity, and even potential invaders. But if they were meant for protection, Who or what were they hiding from? Another aspect that fuels speculation is the striking uniformity of the chisel marks found throughout the caves. These markings, angled at around 60 degrees, are consistent across all chambers, covering walls, pillars, and ceilings in a symmetrical, almost decorative fashion. The precision of the carving suggests an advanced construction technique, possibly even a lost technology. Some have theorized that these marks were not made with traditional hand tools, but by a more sophisticated method, perhaps a lost ancient machine or technique unknown to modern archaeology. Others have drawn comparisons to megalithic sites around the world, noting that civilizations separated by vast distances have often exhibited similar unexplained feats of engineering. Some theories venture into more unorthodox territory, suggesting that the Longyou Caves were built using sound frequencies or some form of ancient vibrational technology that softened the stone, allowing for easier excavation. While this may sound far-fetched, modern experiments have shown that sound waves can affect the structural integrity of materials. Could the ancient builders of Longyou have known something that we do not? Others speculate that the caves may have once been filled with water intentionally, serving as reservoirs or even reflecting pools for celestial observations. Some of the cave floors contain sunken channels, almost as if they were designed for the movement of water, yet no irrigation systems have ever been found. Were the caves meant to be flooded? If so, what was their function when submerged? Despite various excavation attempts, archaeologists remain baffled. No bones, no pottery, no writings, nothing has been discovered to link the caves to a specific group or purpose. The complete absence of historical references is particularly strange, given China's extensive written records. If such a massive project was undertaken, why does no document, legend, or historical text mention it in a country with a rich history of documentation? Something as significant as the creation of these vast underground chambers should have left some trace, yet it hasn't. As the mystery deepens, so does the curiosity of those who visit the site. Some believe the answer lies beneath the still unexplored sections of the caves, hidden behind yet-to-be excavated walls or deep within the surrounding hills. If more chambers exist, could they finally provide the missing clues to who built Longyou and why? Some archaeologists have suggested scanning the area with ground-penetrating radar in hopes of detecting additional structures that could shed light on the enigma. But for now, the caves remain a silent riddle, their creators lost to time. Longyou is not the only unexplained structure in the world. Deep in the heart of Alexandria, another ancient mystery remained buried for centuries. A black sarcophagus sealed shut for over 2,000 years. When it was finally opened in 2018, no one was prepared for what was inside. Let's dive into the story of the Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria. Beneath the busy streets of Alexandria, Egypt, a discovery in 2018 captured global attention. A massive black sarcophagus, sealed for over 2,000 years, was unearthed during a routine archaeological excavation in the Sidi Gabr district. Unlike the ornate tombs of pharaohs, this one was completely black, unmarked, and undisturbed. It was one of the largest sealed sarcophagi ever found in Alexandria, and no one knew what was inside. Some believed it could hold the remains of Alexander the Great. Others thought it might belong to an unknown noble or military leader. But when archaeologists opened it, the reality was far stranger than anyone expected. Alexandria has always been a city full of mysteries. Founded by Alexander the Great in 331 BCE, much of its ancient history is lost beneath the modern city and the waters of the Mediterranean. But every now and then, something buried for centuries comes to light. The black sarcophagus was found in the Sidi Gabr district, an area known for its archaeological significance. The moment archaeologists hit something solid beneath the ground, it was clear this was not an ordinary find. The sarcophagus was enormous, approximately 9 feet long, over 5 feet wide, and standing more than 6 feet tall. It was made entirely of black granite and sealed with an unusually thick layer of mortar, which meant it had remained completely untouched since ancient times. Given its size and the effort taken to seal it, archaeologists speculated that it had to contain someone of great importance. Some even suggested it could finally be the lost tomb of Alexander the Great, whose burial site has never been found. Since he built the city that bears his name, many have speculated that he was laid to rest somewhere beneath it. But there was another theory, one that made some hesitant about disturbing the tomb. The idea that ancient tombs carry curses isn't new, and stories of misfortune following their opening have been told for centuries, from the so-called Curse of King Tut to unexplained deaths surrounding other tomb discoveries. There was no shortage of eerie speculation. Some locals even warned that opening the sarcophagus would unleash something ancient and dangerous. Despite the warnings, archaeologists proceeded. The world was watching, and the possibility of a major historical find was too great to ignore. But opening the sarcophagus wasn't easy. The sheer weight of the lid, estimated at over 15 tons, required heavy machinery to lift. The moment it was pried open, an unbearable stench filled the air inside. Instead of treasures or a well-preserved mummy, the team found something disturbing. The sarcophagus was filled with a murky, reddish-brown liquid, and floating in it were the skeletal remains of 3 individuals. The liquid was a mix of groundwater and decomposed human remains, which had seeped in over centuries and created a grim, decayed sludge. The skeletons belonged to 2 men and 1 woman, but beyond that, little was immediately clear. What stood out was the lack of any markings, inscriptions, or significant artifacts, unusual for a tomb of this size. Most Egyptian burials included objects meant to accompany the dead into the afterlife, but this one had almost nothing. That absence only deepened the mystery. Who were these people? Why were they buried in such a massive, unmarked sarcophagus? And why had it been so securely sealed? Once the discovery was made public, wild theories began to spread. Some people believed the liquid inside had supernatural properties, leading to bizarre requests from individuals claiming they wanted to drink it to gain mystical powers. Others speculated that the burial was part of a lost ritual, possibly a failed attempt at mummification or a punishment of some kind. More rational explanations point to the possibility that the individuals inside were high-ranking military officials or nobles. The sheer size of the tomb suggested status, but the lack of inscriptions or burial objects suggested something unusual about the way they were interred. One theory suggested that they may have died suddenly, perhaps in an epidemic or battle, leading to a rushed and unceremonious burial. Another possibility is that the sarcophagus had been repurposed, originally intended for someone important but later used as a communal grave. Despite all the speculation, no definitive answers were found. The skeletons were removed for further study, and the sarcophagus was transported for preservation. While it didn't contain Alexander the Great, it remains one of the most mysterious tombs uncovered in recent history. Its size, its unsettling contents, and the questions surrounding its purpose make it a discovery unlike any other. But Egypt isn't the only place where strange, ancient relics have surfaced. The mysteries you've just seen are only fragments of a forgotten past, secrets still buried, questions still unanswered. Subscribe to Untold Mysteries, and join us as we uncover the rest of the story in the episodes to come. The next enigma awaits.